Despite failed attempts due to the recent surge of new COVID-19 cases, Hawaii has finally launched the pre-travel testing program for inbound visitors as an alternative to the 14-day mandatory quarantine. This program, which takes effect on October 15, is just one step towards reopening the state's multi-billion-dollar tourism industry. Ron Hamilton from our Hawaii Bureau has more. Ron?
Even though Hawaii's governor has signed the emergency proclamation extending the 14-day quarantine until November 30th, travelers can now avail of the pre-travel testing option from selected partners in order to avoid the 14-day quarantine.
The pre-travel testing program will be implemented in all counties. This allows travelers to bypass the state's mandatory 14-day quarantine with a negative pre-travel test. There will be voluntary post-arrival tests for trans-Pacific travelers arriving on Kauai, Maui, and Hawaii counties. Kauai County has established a voluntary testing program on day 3 after arrival, and Maui County has also established a voluntary post-arrival testing program. Hawaii Island will require an antigen test for all arriving trans-Pacific travelers who are participating in the pre-travel testing program. The City and County of Honolulu is exploring its testing capacity for post-arrival testing. We are exploring a pre-travel testing partnership with Japan, and I hope to have more to announce on this soon.
Governor Ige also announced some important developments on testing and contact tracing capacity to support the Aloha State's efforts to revive the economy.
First, we have arranged for up to 200 additional contact tracers to increase the Department of Health's capacity in contact tracing to focus on any travel-related infections. This will mean that we will have access to up to 500 contact tracers as we begin to talk about reviving our economy. The second significant development is the agreement we've just completed to use $30 million in CARES Act funds to purchase additional test and testing equipment. This means we will have hundreds of thousands of additional tests that we can use to manage the virus in our community as we resume economic activity and school reopenings.
At present, the state of Hawaii will only accept test results from selected testing and travel partners. 4 more have just been recently added.
Those include Alaska Airlines, American Airlines, Bartell Drugs, and the Port of Oakland. There are now 17 trusted partners that can be used to get your pre-travel tests done prior to departure to come to Hawaii.
Lieutenant Governor Josh Green provided some details on conducting strategic surveillance as an added measure to voluntary testing and contact tracing.
They may receive a second test from the counties, and in addition to that, we will do strategic surveillance, which is up to 10% of all arrivals across the islands 4 days after they've come here. So there's a nice gap between the pre-test, which is within 72 hours of departure, and then after 4 days. We have partnerships with our trusted partners. We'll do this for 60 days, and it will be free. So this is meant to show that our testing program is working, as advised by many healthcare personnel across the state, HIEMA, Gov, me. So many people want to make sure this works very well.
Finally, business leaders offered some friendly words of caution and patience for would-be visitors who might expect Hawaii tourism to be back to normal.
Now, within the industry, clearly there's a lot of excitement. People who are furloughed in March are returning at this time and in the 2 weeks prior, being rehired into their jobs. That's not happening quick enough, it's not happening often enough, and it's not happening at scale. Certain businesses will remain closed during this time. Some have advanced their renovations schedule to move it up from 2022 to 2021 and fill this opportunity here. These are choices that each of these hotels and business enterprises are free to make. However, we are assured that there will be enough of an inventory to deal with the traffic that's anticipated between October 15th and the holiday season and year end.
Meanwhile, residents here on Oahu are anticipating an announcement from Mayor Kirk Caldwell on whether or not more businesses will be allowed to reopen later this month. Reporting from Waikiki, Honolulu, Hawaii, this is Ron Hamilton for Eagle News. We live in interesting times.